8-year-old mare that we believe to have been abandoned in the Eagle Cap Wilderness area and up in the Wallowas. And the fire lookout personnel saw her. They were located up at about 8,500 feet, and she had shown up just in the meadow there, injured. And he had tried for a couple weeks trying to locate someone in the community to find out whose horse it is, or if somebody could come get her, with no luck. And somehow a picture of her through one of the other packers got online with his contact number, just trying to find it, and it spread like wildfire at that point.
Come on, right here.
Brian, the guy in the lookout tower, suggested that we get a hold of some of the local outback members. And together we figured out to get a crew in there. Prior to that though, while we were working on those details, I had asked him to go down to Sandy and get some video of her moving, because my big concern was asking her to go down if that was going to be humane.
This is Sandy. At least that's what I'm calling her, because Sand Pass is right up there. I think we got some people coming to get you. In a pretty good spot.
The trail that they were going to have to lead her out on was just 5 miles, but in that 5 miles, the elevation changed 2,000 feet. So she was going to have to be sure-footed enough and pain-free enough to even humanely ask her to walk out.
Just now leaving on the right there. One has a white hat on. Anyway, they got to go all the way around through there. That's a China Cap there. Up over that pass you can't see behind that tree. And
she was putting enough weight on that foot that I figured she deserved the chance at least to try to get down. A couple of gentlemen came in on mules that had been in that back country. One of those guys was in his 90s and had ridden that country probably more than anybody around. And she came right up to them, and we'd arranged for a local veterinarian to take a look at her, and she stayed the night at a stable because I didn't want to pick her up and ask her to haul 5 hours after she went down that pass. We're guessing she probably was packing and fell off a cliff and got injured, either to the point where they thought she was dead or just too far away that they didn't bother going back and checking on her. So that wound, both under her jaw and her leg, festered, and how that mare stayed alive in the backcountry where wolves and cougars and just about, bears, everything is around. She's pretty high prey. They think she actually had to go up in elevation to be where she's at. There wasn't anywhere higher, and so it was probably to avoid the predators. She went up to the top because there's a lot more food down below. They're estimating that wound to be at least 6 to 8 weeks old. They took out both sequestrums, or both broken pieces of jawbone, and that has just healed up, continued to heal up nicely. There wasn't a lot of aftercare. The leg wound, much more extensive and delayed, just because we have to do one procedure. They'll debride it, they'll take some of the tissue off. They continued to drain the original tracks of infection we found, but then on ultrasound they found a whole nother pocket that was about the size of a grapefruit that they had to go in and get the abscess out. So they did that. She stayed a few more days. She had such an army of supporters that it was crazy. She grabbed everybody's attention and heartstrings, and just the thought, I think, of abandoning an animal that was pretty vulnerable in the wild like that and just leaving them behind is not fair.